there, welcome. I'm Dorothy.
And I'm Pam.
And we've been friends for a very, very long time. And we wrote some books together for a series called At the Heels of History, which tells the story of dogs who were present at very important points in history.
And today we are going to read to you from the first chapter of the first book in the series, which is called Filigrees' Midnight Ride, which is about a 5-pound Pomeranian who stows away on, that's Filigree over there, who Dorothy's holding up, who stows away on Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. And we're in our two separate houses, but we are going to read to you together, and we're very excited about that.
Okay. And Filigree ends up playing a very important part in the American Revolution in our story. So we're going to read from the first chapter, and we're going to need your help with some sound effects. We're going to have 4 sound effects that we want your help with. And we have some people who are going to help with that.
That's right. I have Max and Caspian in the audience here. Oh, there's Caspian and there's Max. And they are going to demonstrate along with you how to help with the sound effects. So take it away, Dorothy.
All right. So when I show you this, I want you to bark. And when I make that hand gesture, it's time to stop so we can read some more. Okay. And when I show you this, I want you to yowl and howl. Excellent. And when I show you this next one, I want you to growl.
Okay, let's stop everybody because that scares Dorothy. Okay, so just,
good growls, you guys.
Because she gets scared easy.
Wow.
Hey there,
right.
Can you go on?
So this next one, you guys know how when a dog is tired, it pants? I'm going to do this. Excellent.
Great job.
You guys are awesome. Okay, I'm going to make sure I have my sound effects in order.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to read to you from the first chapter of Filigrees' Midnight Ride from Simon & Schuster.
Chapter 1, The Smallest Dog in Boston. April 18, 1775, Boston, Massachusetts. Filigree smelled danger and raced toward it. He flattened his ears against his head and stretched his short legs as far as he could. This was his chance. He leapt over a cobblestone as big as his head and dodged the wheels of a vegetable cart. He might be the smallest dog in Boston, but he was ready to fight for freedom. The street was wet and slippery with drizzle. Filigree dashed past a group of children, throwing rotten eggs at British soldiers and laughing. He rounded the corner into Back Street. Then he slid to a stop, panting. The fight had already begun.
Excellent. So good.
It looked like every dog in Boston was there. Jove, the huge Newfoundland, had cornered 2 British soldiers against a wall. Jove belonged to the Patriot leader Samuel Adams. His head was as big as a pumpkin, and his neck was as thick as a bull's. Dark, shaggy fur covered his powerful chest. His pack of Patriot dogs surrounded him. Scout the Spaniel stood with his front paws on the taller soldier's shoes. Rosie, a scruffy mutt, pulled on the smaller soldier's coat. All the other dogs yowled and snapped.
Excellent.
For the last 10 years, many of the people of Boston had been angry about England controlling them. They called themselves patriots. But King George wouldn't even let them have a say about the laws they had to follow or the taxes they had to pay. Nearly 2 years ago, the patriots had thrown boxes and boxes of British tea into Boston Harbor because of the taxes on it. Patriots called that the Boston Tea Party. After that, Jove decided the Patriot dogs should stand up to the British too. They stole the soldiers' food, chased them when they were marching, and woke them up by howling in the middle of the night. Rosie once ran off with a whole leg of lamb meant for a general's dinner. Scout carried secret messages tied to his collar. Jove stood watch outside Patriot meetings. Filigree had been ready to do his part, even if he was only a 5-pound Pomeranian. After all, he belonged to 9-year-old Frances Revere. She was the daughter of the patriot Paul Revere. and Filigree was a patriot now too. He had good reason to be. "Reporting for duty, sir," he told Jove the first time he'd seen him in North Square. But Jove had laughed. "You're not even a real dog, more like a dormouse," he'd said. "The redcoats won't even know you're there." The patriots called the British soldiers redcoats or lobsterbacks because red was the human name for the color of their uniforms. "A little pup like you could never make a difference," Jove had grunted. His words had hit Filigree like a slap. "Yes, I can," he'd barked, "and I'm not a pup." But Jove had just turned away. He'd started telling two sheepdogs how to pull tent pegs out of the ground to make the British tents fall down. Now, on Back Street, Rosie and Scout crouched low. They pulled their lips back to snarl at the soldiers.
It's really good growls.
You okay there, Dorothy, though? Not too scared?
I'm good. I'm all good.
Okay. Jove stepped forward and looked straight into the taller soldier's eyes. In dog language, that was a challenge to a fight. The fur on Filigree's back stood up. The tall redcoat raised the heavy wooden stock of his musket above Jove's head. He was going to dash Jove's brains out. "No!" Filigree yapped. "If anything happened to Jove, who would lead the patriot pack? The redcoats weren't allowed to hurt children, but they had killed dogs." No. The needle-sharp bayonet at the end of the redcoat's gun caught the light of the setting sun. It glittered hard as silver ice. Fear squeezed Filigree's chest, but he couldn't let the pack down. He charged toward Jove and the soldiers. He took a running leap. He meant to land in front of the big dog and distract the redcoat, but his jump didn't carry him quite as far as he wanted. He flew right into Jove's face. Jove wasn't expecting a flying dog to hit him on the muzzle. He jumped back in surprise. The redcoats saw their chance and ran. The shorter one called over his shoulder, "General Gage will hang your masters when he catches them at their next Sons of Liberty meeting." General Gage was the leader of the British troops in Boston. "Wait until tonight," the tall lobsterback joined in. "They'll get what's coming to them." Rosie, Scout, and the other dogs pelted after them. Jove didn't follow. He was too busy staring at Filigree in amazement. The pack came panting back. "They went inside a building," Rosie said. "We couldn't catch them." "But we sure showed those lobsterbacks whose street this is," Filigree barked. Jove was still staring at him. Filigree stood as tall as he could. His nose was lined up with Jove's knee. He wagged his tail in triumph. He had saved Jove. He waited for the big dog to thank him. Jove growled and showed his sharp, sharp teeth. "Fool," he barked. "You ruined everything." And that's the end of the first chapter.
And things did not go the way Filigree wanted them to at all. It was not a good day for him. But Filigree was absolutely determined to help out the patriots and to help the revolution. And that's what the rest of the book is about.
So if you have any questions for us, if they're about writing or about dogs, or you just want to comment and share something, whether it's about a dog or a pet or anything you'd like to tell us, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. And you can also find us at theheelsofhistory.com and also on Twitter at theheelsofhistory.com and also on Facebook. Dorothy and I are both on Facebook. And also look on Simon Kids.
And we can also, if you go to the website at theheelsofhistory.com, you can find some fun games and things to do that are around the book.
Mm-hmm. And we'll try to answer your comments and questions as soon as we can.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks for reading with us.
To our helpers.
Yes, thanks guys. Yay!
Bye everyone, until next time.